Welcome back. It's almost 20 to 4. You have me, Martin Daubney, here on GB News. Now, groups that have been banned from engaging with the government over Islamist extremism fears have now been invited to feed into new laws on public order and hate crime in the wake of the Manchester synagogue attack. At least 3 groups which have prompted concerns about extremism, were invited to give evidence to a government commission review aimed at protecting communities from hate and intimidation. But should we be really engaging with groups who've been previously accused of being extremists? Well, let's now speak to the Director of Domestic Policy at Pickthall House, and that's Jacob Williams. Jacob, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have your company. The Muslim Council of Britain and other groups of Palestinian Solidarity Campaign have previously been accused of being a bit out there and promoting violence against Israel, for example. Is it really a good idea to be sitting down and talking to them now?
Well, I think we should oppose cancel culture of all forms, and the key word there is accuse. So Michael Gove accused 2 of these groups, the MAB and the Friends of Al-Aqsa, of being extremists using parliamentary privilege. He then declined to actually repeat that claim outside of Parliament, presumably because he didn't have sufficient evidence to say so in a forum in which he could be sued for doing so. The Muslim Council of Britain, on the other hand, the third group, have never actually been accused seriously of being extremists. There are some comments that a former deputy head of the organisation made a long time ago, which were unpleasant comments. But just because a group has been associated with people who said unpleasant things isn't a reason to cancel them forever. That's not a particularly helpful way of engaging in discourse. And to be clear, the government are not saying they're going to listen to these these groups' views in a conclusive way or take on board what they say or follow what they suggest. They're simply, alongside a huge range of other groups, being invited to give evidence to a consultation in which there's absolutely no guarantee that their views will prevail.
Isn't this the case, though, of the government saying one thing, acting tough, and then another government doing another thing? And there is a constant narrative, is there not, that this Labour government tends to lean more into multiculturalism? And are we forgetting, actually, the duty of the government is to protect British citizens, particularly Jewish citizens who are experiencing grotesque and soaring anti-Semitism?
Well, I'm not sure if there's I'm not aware of any even accusation, credible or otherwise, that these specific groups are fomenting anti-Semitism or causing harassment against Jewish people. If we were, that would be a different story. What's actually going on is that this is all about accusations that were made against these groups a long time ago that didn't pertain to Jewish people in Britain anyway.
Well, the Palestinian Solidarity Campaign, which has been asked to submit evidence, was amongst the organisations behind some of the largest pro-Palestine demonstrations in Britain over the past year. We saw violence, we've seen rife anti-Semitism, we've seen grotesque behaviour, we've seen thuggery. Now, we're not saying they're directly responsible, but, you know, they need to be held to account, surely not invited inside the tent.
Well, I think that the people who have actually committed acts of thuggery, harassment or other crimes are the ones who should be held to account, not an organisation that organised a protest to which some bad people came. Again, this is about rejecting cancel culture. It's simply about talking to people that you perhaps dislike or have good reasons to dislike, not acting on their views, just allowing them to give evidence. That's all that's being asked for here. They should be allowed alongside other groups to give their opinion, and it's up to the government whether they decide to act on it or not.
Let's flip the narrative, Jacob. Let's say that, I don't know, there was a far-right march. It wasn't a far-right march, it was thousands and thousands of patriots, and a few bad apples committed acts of violence. Do you seriously think that the Labour government would invite organisations involved in that in for a nice cosy cup of tea and a chit-chat? They wouldn't.
Well, I don't know, and thank God I'm not working for the Labour government, so I'm not obliged to defend them or speak on their behalf, but I certainly think that they should speak to all stakeholders and all groups, regardless of whether they like their views or not, and I would apply that equally to the far right as I would to Muslim groups who are accused by some of being extremist.
OK, well, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. As the Director of Domestic Policy at Pickthall House, Jacob Williams, thank you very much indeed for joining us on this Friday afternoon, sir.